Pixie, it's been a while since we first started dating, and I've been thinking about our relationship. I'd like to get to know your family better, especially your parents. I haven't met them yet, and I feel like I'm missing out on a big part of your life. Getting to know each other's families is important before we can move on to the next step in our relationship, don't you think?
Oh, sure, of course. We should definitely introduce each other to our families.
Would you be free tomorrow for a cozy dinner at my house? I'd love for you to meet my parents.
That sounds great, Andy. I'm really looking forward to it.
What about your parents? I know they're good people because they raised such a wonderful daughter. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
I'd love for you to meet my mom. She's a warm and caring person. I think you'll really like her.
Great to hear it. I can't wait to meet your mom. And what about your dad? What is he like?
My parents divorced when I was very young, so I don't have many memories of my father. He left us for another woman and never looked back. I haven't seen or spoken to him in years.
Oh, that's a bit sad. I guess it must have been tough growing up in a single-parent family. But what do I know? I never experienced it before. So you tell me.
Yeah, it's not easy, but we still manage to get through the difficult times. But it's always important to focus on the present and the future, and not dwell on the past. Don't you agree with me?
Well, of course you're right. So what does your mom do for a living? Is she still working, or has she retired?
My mom is a janitor at a high school. She's been doing this job for over 20 years, and she's still going strong. She loves her job, and says she wants to keep doing it until she can't anymore. I'm incredibly proud of my mom. She's strong, flexible, and full of life, even at her age. She always tries to take care of everything on her own, and I feel incredibly lucky to have her as my mom.
What? Your mom works as a janitor? Are you being serious?
Yes, is something wrong?
I was just surprised to hear that your mom is a janitor. Given your educational and professional accomplishments, I know that janitorial work can be very demanding, and I can't imagine how she managed to support you through university on her salary.
It was definitely challenging to keep up with all the bills, but I'm so glad that I was able to find a stable job and start contributing to the family's income. It's a relief to know that we're not struggling as much as we used to.
Pixie, look, after getting to know about your family's background, I think there might be some serious problems.
What do you mean, problems? Can you be more specific?
Well, first of all, your mom hasn't remarried yet.
And do you think that's a problem? My mom is doing just fine on her own. Besides, it's her choice whether she wants to remarry or not, so we have to respect that.
Maybe my parents can tolerate your mom's martial status, but the fact that she works as a janitor? I don't know, Pixie, that could become a real nuisance for us.
And what's the big deal about working as a janitor? It's a respectable job, and it's not like she's a criminal. She works hard, just like everyone else, and she gets paid accordingly.
I know, Pixie, I'm fine with your mom's job or the fact that she's a single mom. But the problem lies with my parents. I know they're not gonna like it when they know my girlfriend's mom has that kind of job.
What do you mean, that kind of job? And why wouldn't your parents like it? I seriously don't understand.
The thing is, my parents consider these kinds of jobs as low-status jobs, and they think that people who work these jobs are beneath them.
I see. I didn't realize that your parents are so prejudiced against janitors.
My dad runs a big company, and he's only interested in associating with people who have the same social standing as him. Judging on his character, I'm pretty sure he'll think that a janitor belongs to the inferior class. I'm worried that your mom's job will make a bad impression on my parents when we meet them for the first time. My parents are quite traditional, you know.
Are you serious? Their views are so outdated. What century are they living in?
I know, and I'm sorry for that. I don't agree with my parents' views, but I'm afraid to challenge them. They've always been this way, and I don't think they're going to change. I know it's unfair to you, but I think it's the best that we keep your mom's job a secret. Better safe than sorry, right?
What? How can we possibly hide something like that from your parents? Look, you do realize that we're supposed to meet them tomorrow to discuss our engagement, right? First of all, if we want to become husband and wife, we should accept each other's families as they are. We can't choose where we were born, you know? So I see nothing wrong with my mom being a single mom and working as a janitor.
Oh, why don't you try being a little less stubborn and have some sympathy for my situation? I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place right now.
Listen, we can't keep this a secret from your parents forever. They'll eventually figure it out. Furthermore, the way your parents think doesn't have any bearing on us. It's us who choose to live our lives the way we want it, right?
I know what you're saying, but my parents are really strict when it comes to jobs and social status. If you really want to get engaged to me, then the best thing you can do is please avoid talking about your mom being a single parent and her janitorial job. I don't want to mess everything up when my dad finds out the truth about your mom.
No, Andy. I'm sorry, but I can't and I won't do that. Your parents will eventually figure everything out themselves, and when that happens, it will be even worse for us. They'll think that we've intentionally lied to them and tricked them so that I could be welcome in the family. It'll only complicate the situation even more than it already is. Look, I'm going to tell them the truth and nothing but the truth. I don't care if they accept it or not. If they don't, it doesn't matter anyway, because it's our lives and we should be the ones who take control of it.
Wait, no, Pixie! Are you really gonna reveal the truth? I don't think you should do that at all. If you tell them the truth, there's no guarantee what they might actually do.
Andy, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you really want to be together and get engaged with me? If you love me for who I am, then you should also accept my family because I'm part of that, and that's something I can't change. I know you want to lie now to avoid conflict, but it won't help in the long run. There will be conflict when your dad finds out the truth. Do you want to deal with that conflict then, or do you want to deal with it now?
I know you have a point in what you're saying, but you didn't grow up with my parents. You wouldn't understand what they're capable of. I'm afraid of what they might do if they found out about your mom's job. I trust you, but I don't trust my parents. Please, we shouldn't tell them.
Don't worry, it's going to be okay. We'll be there for each other when I tell your parents, so you don't have to be too afraid. I know it's scary, but I believe in us. We can do this together.
It's just that I've always been terrified of my parents, and I dread doing anything that might disappoint them.
Andy, I know it's not easy to stand up to your parents, but I promise you that it will be worth it in the end. Don't worry, we'll tell them in a calm and respectful way, and I know they'll eventually come around.
Hi Pixie, this is Andy's mom. I'm so excited to hear that Andy is going to introduce you to our family soon. I can't wait to meet you and get to know you better. I've been looking forward to having a daughter-in-law for almost all my life. I know you're going to be a wonderful addition to our family.
Oh, hello! You must be Andy's mom. It's nice to talk with you. Andy has told me wonderful things about you. I'm eager to meet you and your husband and introduce myself to your family.
Yes, Andy has told me a lot about you, and I'm so impressed by what I've heard. You seem like an intelligent and well-educated woman with a strong family background. Andy has such a keen eye for the women he chooses to marry, and I know you two will make a wonderful couple.
I hope so too. Thank you.
I assume you already know that Andy is going to inherit everything from his father. His company, his great fortune, everything will belong to Andy once his father retires. That's why my son needs a wife who is at the same social level as he is. We can't have some low-class girl destroying our family's prestige. It would be an embarrassment and a disgrace to us all.
Oh, okay. I see.
One more thing. You can call me Mom already. It's the easiest way to address me, and it will help us bond more as mother and daughter-in-law. We're going to be family soon, so why not start practicing now?
Oh, okay. Glad to hear it from you.
Please, dear, if you have any difficulties, just simply give me a call and I'll be happy to help you in any way I can.
Is this Andy's number? I've been contacting you nonstop for the last couple of hours. What happened to you? Why didn't you come and pick me up? I thought we were supposed to meet your family today. You texted me saying that you were in big trouble and that it was an emergency. When I arrived, your parents were there instead of you. They started yelling at me and calling me names. They said I wasn't good enough for their son because my mom is a janitor. Your dad even punched me in the face.
Serves you right. Do you actually think that a worthless woman like you has any chance to be together with my son? You've got some nerves, haven't you? Too bad. It's no use. You're no match for me.
I'm sorry. Who am I talking to? Isn't this Andy?
I'm Andy's father, Franklin. I now have control over his phone and all of his means of contact. I can't allow him to have any association with the type of woman like you. You and your mother are inferior compared to our family, so don't even think that you can ensnare my son into marrying you. That's never gonna happen. I've heard all about you from Andy. You were raised by a single mother who's a janitor. What a combination! Your family is beneath us, and you'll never be our equal.
Wow, what a way to introduce yourself.
I don't know what Andy was thinking when he intended to introduce a scum like you to us. It must be your fault. You must have seduced and tricked my son. Well, I wouldn't be too surprised. In fact, it must be the same way that your mother brought you to this world, by tricking your father into sleeping with her.
What is wrong with you? How dare you talk about my mother like that? You don't even know her. You've never met her. So why do you think you have the right to say such horrible things about her? If anyone here is scum, it's you. You assaulted me, and your wife just stood there and watched. She didn't even try to stop you. In fact, she encouraged you to beat me up. What kind of people are you? You're both disgusting. I hope you're ashamed of yourselves.
Good question. We're the kind of people who would do anything to protect our reputation and our business. You must have known that I have a company of my own, right? Andy will one day inherit the company, and we can't have him marrying someone like you. You are beneath him, and you would only bring him down. You and your mother are the dregs of society, and you don't even deserve to breathe the same air as us. You and your useless mom must have been coveting our family's fortune like a vulture, huh?
Excuse me? I don't care about your company or your family's fortune. They mean nothing to me. And don't you dare talk about my mother that way. She is a hardworking woman who has supported our family single-handedly. She raised me and my brother, helped us get into college, paid for our tuition. She's my hero, and I will not tolerate anyone disrespecting her. If you say one more word about her, I will make you regret it.
Oh, really? And what are you gonna do about that, you imbecile woman? Come crying to your worthless janitorial mother and asking for help? I bet she must have been busy all day sticking her hands into the toilet. Ha ha ha! Imagine how filthy her hands are after touching the urinals all day. I'm so glad I don't have to shake hands with that giant walking petri dish. I'm dying to know why your mom has to work as a janitor, but I think I already know the answer. She's just too dumb to land a proper job. Couldn't finish college or even failed high school. Such a low-grade job is for people who don't have any actual skills or are too stupid to even tie their own shoelaces.
Fine. I see that you have some serious prejudices against janitorial staff, don't you? And was that why you assaulted me? Do you really think that someone who's properly educated would punch their own son's girlfriend? Only sociopaths like you would resort to violence and think it's the best way to deal with everything. It's ironic how you're afraid that me having a mom who works as a janitor would ruin your company's reputation, when you're the one who ruined it yourself. And don't even think for a moment that I'm gonna let you get away with what you did to me.
What? What are you gonna do about it? Women like you need to be disciplined so that you can understand your place in this society. I'm disappointed that you didn't bring your mom with you. I would have enjoyed disciplining her as well. You are lucky to have had the opportunity to learn from a powerful man like me. Not everyone gets that chance. But sometimes, the best lessons are learned the hard way. I hope you learned your lesson and understand why you're not good for my son. If you don't stay away from him, you will regret it.
You call that discipline? You savage! You left me with a large bruise on my face and a deep cut through my skin. I even had to get stitches. How could you do something like that to me?
Don't make me laugh. Consider yourself lucky that I didn't use all of my force, or else you'll be knocked unconscious. My son doesn't need a frail woman like you. Stop playing the victim card. I was just giving you a lesson on life. I didn't even hit you that hard.
I don't care how hard you hit me. The problem is you're not allowed to hit me at all. What you did to me is intolerable. And I guarantee that your action won't go without punishment. You can brag about running a company now, but it won't last long because I'm going to end it and I'm going to take you and your company down.
Ha ha ha! Nice joke. I'm dying to know what an incompetent woman like you can do to a CEO like me. Come crying to the press, hoping to get some pity attention and interviews, then expect me to pay compensation? Oh, please. From the bottom of my heart, I advise you not to do anything stupid. You're too poor to defend yourself, while I have all the resources to crush you like a little insect.
You can laugh all you want, but don't think for a moment that you can get away so easily with your crime. I'm reporting you to the police and pressing charges against you for assault. You will have all the time in jail to repent for your crime.
Wait, are you serious? I wasted my time teaching you valuable lessons on life, but you didn't learn anything? Just how stupid are you, really?
If that lesson of yours means insults and violence, then I've had enough. An abusive man like you is no good for anyone, and you need to be held accountable for your crime. I'm reporting you to the police. I'll fight restlessly until justice is served.
No, don't do that. Why do we need to get the police involved? I mean, it'll be a waste of money and time for both of us. You know what? I'm feeling much better than before. Giving you that punch must have helped to clear my mind and get everything out of my system.
And why are you saying this to me all of a sudden?
Forget about the police. Forget about everything. Although I think you're beneath my son, I still give you a chance to become his wife out of pity. You're welcome. No need to thank me.
Seriously? At first, you resorted to violence and threatened me. Now, just when I said that I'm going to report you to the police, you decided to change your mind and agree to my marriage with Andy? Do you seriously think that I'm going to accept that?
Of course you'll accept my offer. What other choice do you have? You're from the inferior class, after all. You're lucky I'm even offering to marry you into my family. You should be thanking me. But I suppose that's not necessary. After all, we'll be family soon. And as your father-in-law, I forbid you from getting me arrested. Don't forget your place. If you still insist on reporting me to the police, then say goodbye to your engagement with Andy.
Are you kidding me? You're using your son's engagement as a shield to protect yourself from the consequences of your actions? Such a petty and despicable move.
Oh, not only that, I also found out that your mom works as a janitor at a high school, right? With my money and power, I can easily get her fired. Then your family would be left struggling to get by without her meager salary. I wonder how you would like that.
I'm not sure what you're trying to get at, but my engagement to Andy and my mom's job are not my weaknesses. I'm not going to let you use them against me. I'm determined to bring your crime to light, and I'm not going to back down. If you had simply apologized to me, I might have considered letting this go. But now, I'm going to make sure that you pay for what you've done.
Apologize to you? In your dreams. That's never gonna happen. I haven't done anything wrong. I simply taught you a lesson for the sake of our family.
Suit yourself. Whether you apologize to me or not, you and I are still going to court.
I already told you, you don't stand a chance against me. You're just a dirt poor woman whose mother is a stupid janitor. Do you seriously think that you can win a court case against me? I have the best team of lawyers who can easily take you and your pathetic mother down. So you'd better back off. With my money, power, and influence, I can easily shut down your police report. But, of course, I am a generous man. So, you can marry Andy and everything will be solved. Easy as that. Of course, I still expect you to keep the fact that your mom is a janitor a secret, or else my company's reputation, as well as my family's prestige, will go down the drain because of you.
What makes you think that my mother's job is more damaging than your assault? I'm not an idiot or a puppet that you can order around. I'm not going to do what you tell me just because you think you're better than me. In fact, I'm going to make you pay for assaulting me, and for every single time you've talked down to me and my mother. A piece of trash like you belongs in jail, but simply putting you in prison is too easy for you. Before that, I'm going to get my revenge on you. Just wait and see. You'll experience hell like you've never had before.
It's been weeks, and I'm still here like a free bird. Guess the lessons I taught you the last time got through quite well, huh? I'm glad that you finally know your place and backed off. See? It's not so hard. If you had obeyed me in the first place, none of this trouble would have happened. Well, then there's no need to bring up marriage anymore. Just go back to the dumpster where you live with your mom and everything will be solved.
Seriously? Do you really think that I'm going to keep quiet and act as though nothing happened? Have you spoken to your company's contract manager? I heard that your company lost a lot of million-dollar contracts recently.
How did you know about that? That's confidential information. It hasn't even been released to the press yet. Who did you tell? This is a serious breach of security.
Well, you may not know my mother, but I'm sure you're familiar with my brother. In fact, he's the one who ordered the contract cancellations.
Your brother? What does he have to do with the contract annulments? I don't know, and I don't care about that piece of trash. Did he follow your mother's footsteps and become a worthless janitor as well? I wouldn't even be too surprised to hear it. Ha ha ha!
Sorry to say this to you, but my brother is a businessman himself. In fact, my brother's company is your company's largest customer, and they purchase most of your raw materials. As a true businessman, he always valued integrity and professionalism in both his personal and professional life. I'm asking you, does the name IU Holdings ring any bells to you?
Wait, what? IU Holdings? That's like one of the biggest companies in the field. You're saying your brother owns that market leader company? No way. This is simply impossible.
You assaulted me, and my brother is furious. He says he will never forgive you for your savagery and brutality. You have shown no remorse for your actions, even after I politely asked you to apologize. This proves that you are not fit to be a business owner. You are violent and cowardly, and you are not even willing to take responsibility for your mistakes.
There's no way. A guy whose mother is a janitor can't own a company. That only happens in fairy tales, and this is real life. Don't think you can scare me with those white lies. I'm not buying any of that. Tell me, what tricks did your brother use to climb his ladder of success? Did he sleep with the former CEO's daughter? Or did he murder the CEO himself?
I'm warning you. Stop undermining our family. My mother worked her fingers to the bone to support us, even taking on 2 or 3 jobs at a time to cover my brother's tuition and my own. When my brother started his business, my mother was his biggest supporter. She used up all her savings to fund the establishment of the company. Even though my brother's company is thriving and we have more than enough to spend, my mother still sticks with her job as a janitor because she takes pride in working.
Stop joking around. You're just delusional. There's no way you and your brother could be related. You're just lying, and you're a terrible liar, so stop doing it. I swear, I'm gonna make you suffer like you've never done before.
I wouldn't waste my time lying to a piece of trash like you. Face the truth. Your company is going bankrupt, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Your threats are just empty words, and they're not going to scare me. I'm not the one who's being crushed. You are.
No! Please, Pixie. I had no idea that your brother actually owns IU Holdings. If I had known that, I wouldn't have punched you in the face. I swear on my life. I would have welcomed you with open arms. Why didn't you tell me about your brother before? You lied to me. You kept his identity a secret, and now I'm the one who's paying the price. If you had just been honest with me, I would have never hit you. Tell your brother to rethink his decision. Me and my company don't deserve to be treated this way.
And what if you had known about my brother's identity? Would you sucked up to him and pretended to be a good father-in-law to me? You make me sick. It doesn't matter who my mother and brother are or what they do for a living. Rich or poor, you had no right to punch me or disrespect my family. It's against morality, and you should be punished accordingly. Honestly, I pity the people who have any association with you, especially your subordinates. But in the end, your company's going in ruin anyway, so at least your staff will be freed from your reign of terror.
Look, Pixie, I'm really, truly sorry. Just consider what I did as an impulsive act and nothing else. From the bottom of my heart, I give you the most sincere apology for punching you. You can still marry Andy and become my daughter-in-law and become part of my family, just like you always wanted, right? I know that Andy still loves you, and if you give me my company back, I promise that I'll accept you as my daughter-in-law, and we can become a happy family. Or is it money that you want? I can give you as much as you like. Just spare me this time.
Look, I lost interest in marrying Andy a long time ago. The moment he told me to keep my mother's profession a secret from you, I knew he was a spineless coward who would never stand up for me or the people he loves. He even let you take control of his phone, which proves that he never had the intention of fighting you. You know what? I actually feel lucky that I dodged a huge bullet by not marrying Andy. You can cry all you want, but there's nothing you can do to save yourself or your company anymore. Your company is going bankrupt, and you'll be arrested for assault. Goodbye, and never let me see you again. Having had enough of Franklin's abuse, I reported him to the police, and he was arrested. My brother, who was also fed up with Franklin's behavior, canceled all the contracts he had with Franklin's company, which caused the company to go bankrupt. Andy blamed his father, Franklin, for ruining his future. He was so ashamed that he didn't even bother to see his father in jail. He cut off all contact with his parents and moved to a place far away from them. Not long after Franklin was arrested, his wife demanded a divorce. She was unable to bear the poverty and debt that resulted from his actions, and she no longer felt safe or respected in the marriage. I can only hope that Franklin's time in jail will teach him to treat others with more respect, so that he does not repeat the same mistakes in the future.